major chord his love, and she got it right. What she played it on came from the light.
Welcome to Grandma's Journals. This channel began with a collection of handwritten journals, pages filled with everyday moments, quiet faith, family stories, and a kind of wisdom that only comes from a life well lived. These journals belong to my Grandma Peggy. Inside them are her thoughts, her prayers, her joys, and her struggles. Moments that may have felt ordinary at the time, but now feel priceless. My hope is that as you listen, you'll feel connected to her story and maybe even your own. Thanks for being here. This is Grandma's Journal.
The beauty of the song is joy in her eyes. The major chord is love, and she got it right.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Grandma's Journal. I am excited because we are now in the 90s. I feel like we're to the part of life where I start remembering things. So I'm excited to jump in. We'll see how long this one gets, if I decide to break it into or not. I'm not sure. It seems a little longer than normal, but we will just start reading and see where we get to. And if I feel like cutting it into, I will. We'll just have to see. But I hope everyone is doing awesome. I hope everyone has had a great week and that you're as excited as I am to jump into the 90s. My mom and my stepdad got here and she brought me 3 boxes of pictures. So it's been so fun to go through some pictures, and I've already found ones that I know go with some of these entries. So that's super exciting. And again, of course, most of them are of my family, like the Steve Hunt family. So I'm just going to put out another little thing out there for anybody if you want to send me pictures that I say I would like for the next coming episode. I would greatly appreciate it. Anyways, okay, we are going to get started because I'm hungry and I can't eat until I'm done with this. So let's go. All right, so we are starting in January of 1990. Well, another decade. It seems as if we just started the 80s and now it's the 90s. We eased into January without seeing the new year come in. We are too old to stay up that late, and Alec had to work. It is quiet this January and gives us time to reflect on the things to come in the new year. I have really been feeling good and life is great. Our kids have all had their problems and illnesses, but we are happy when they are happy, and we are sad when they are sad, and yet we can step back and see how simple their life can be if they would just change a few things in their lives. But they have to lead their own life, and I guess they will eventually learn what to do to better themselves. Our oldest grandson turned 16 on the 24th of January. He is really a good-looking young man, all 6 feet of him. He flunked his driver's test and was really mad at himself. He didn't go back. He said he didn't have a car to drive anyway. I really got a big kick out of our daughter Jeanette. She said, "Mom, I'll be truthful. I'm scared to let Clint drive. He's not very good and there are too many idiots out on the road." We had a laugh because Jeanette wasn't the best driver either, and we were scared to death she couldn't drive good enough, but somehow they all managed through it. Lori's husband, Bill Fricke, had a birthday on the 31st of January, but we sent him a card and a check because Alec and I went to Elfrida and were not here on his birthday. My aunt and uncle, Lou and Carla Moore, moved to Mesa right after Christmas. February 10th, 1990. I hung a mural with Jennifer at our friend's workplace, Dave Beatty. It looked so good. We hung another one to go with it. It was also our grandson, Justin Hargrave's 12th birthday. We took him to lunch, and then on Sunday the 11th, he was ordained to a deacon in the priesthood. February 14th. My friend and ex-boss I worked for at the bridal shop for 10 years met me at JD's for lunch. We had lots of things to talk about and got caught up on each other's families. Her name is Hazel Motes. March, we had Stephanie Hunt's birthday on the 1st. She turned 8 years old. She had her baptism at 3 p.m. on March 3rd. I talked on baptism. There was another young man getting baptized on the same day. Afterwards, we had a luncheon and visited with everyone. We gave Stephanie gifts afterwards. It was also Tabitha's 12th birthday, and we celebrated both their birthdays. On the 16th was a wedding reception for our friends' children, the McCains and the Beatties. We also had our state conference this month, which was also special. We started April off with a bang. Our Brooke Ann, that's their granddaughter, Brooke Ann called and Alec answered the phone. She was crying her eyes out and said that their house had burnt down. Alec asked if everyone was okay, and I guess I went white and wondered why they didn't call us. Alec asked to talk to our daughter Jeanette. When she came on the phone, she said, "I'm sorry. It was Brooke's April Fool's Day joke, and I told her not to tell you that. That it would scare them too much, but she couldn't think of anything else to tell us. She fooled us all right. We really fell for it, but we were so glad it wasn't for real. All I could think of was how I felt when my house burnt down when I was a kid." Sorry, I dropped the lid to my marker. Whoops. Ugh, Brooke Ann, girl, doing that to your poor grandparents. We had our annual fish fry at the Nichols. We also had a wedding reception for Daryl Allen to attend before the fish fry. Food was so good at both places, we ate twice. The next day, we had another reception. My sister's stepdaughter, Tiffany, but I came down with a migraine headache, so we didn't go. On April 4th was our annual Easter picnic. Alec and I always put it on. We had a treasure hunt for the married kids, and Stephen found the treasure with $10. He has won 3 times in a row now. I made pictures of Christ that says, "I didn't say it would be easy, I only said it would be worth it." Then I made each of them a set of cloth bunnies. I had a treasure hunt for some of the older kids. I put a $5 bill in an envelope, and Justin Hargrave found it. We had pinned the tail on the bunny, and we had an Easter egg hunt, and we played games with everyone. Then we ate chili beans and burros. Afterwards, we had the piñata, and all the kids had a few swings at it. It's always an enjoyable day, and everyone has a good time. My mom was here visiting, and all the kids and grandkids were here, and Joe Faraday and Joni and Jennifer, and also Bart and Valerie Robbins. The next weekend was Cameron Fricky's birthday, and he was 8 years old. He has snow white hair, tiny features, and slight of build. He is full of it. A time bomb waiting to explode, and an angel in disguise. He is having a skating party with friends. All boys except one girl he invited, must be special, and his cousin Brooke Ann. On April 23rd, all this week I hung wallpaper. My Uncle Lou Moore and I worked together for the first time. We hung a ceiling. What a job. We hung a bedroom and then did a bath to match. We worked pretty good together. We had very little room, so it was a hard place to work. I got home that night and I had a phone call to do, another job at a friend's house, Linda Taylor. I did her front room in beautiful wallpaper. It went on real easy and turned out great. That's the kind I like. Wednesday, April 25th, Alec and I went to Sid Freier's retirement party. It was held at the Pira Club, which is a club for all Salt River employees, under a huge tent. We had a good steak dinner. Alec saw lots of people that had retired and visited with old friends, a very nice retirement, and a very nice evening. I had my annual checkup at the doctor with Dr. Seal, the next day with Dr. Seal, and everything was fine. He is such a sweet doctor. I told him my weight was running away with me, and he said it was because I was on the Premarin, which is the estrogen she's on, and not to worry about it. He said, "I think you look fine. You are a beautiful lady, and you look very young for your age." He said, "I have a list of 55-year-old ladies that would give anything to look like you." I knew there was a reason I was in love with my doctor. Dr. Craig Seal is a really nice man. Saturday, April 28th. Cameron Fricky was baptized. His father, Bill Fricky, is not a member of the Mormon Church, so Cameron had to have his permission. Alec and I were asked to give talks. I talked on baptism, and Alec talked on confirmation. Tanner, Justin, Brooke Ann, Cameron, and Tyler sang songs. Alec confirmed him, and Jeanette Hargrave gave the closing prayer. Jim Hargrave was a witness. The highlight of the whole thing was the opening prayer, which was given by Bill Fricke, Cameron's father. He is not a member, but he gave a beautiful prayer to his son and asked for a father's blessing. It was so beautiful. Afterwards, I told Bill he did a super job, and someone said, "How did you know what to say?" And he said, "Well, Lori says all you have to do is ask Heavenly Father to help you, and he will," and that's what I did. May 13th. My daughters always make Mom's Day special, and they never forget. We have a lot of fun. May 9th. So we're going back a little bit now. May 9th, 1990. We have been married 37 years, and it has been a great 37 years. We've both learned a lot through the years, and we are still learning. Marriage is wonderful if you want it to be. You have to work hard at it and learn to please each other. I have always treated Alec like I wanted to be treated. I didn't always work at first, but it has really paid off. It's great to know that he is hurrying home just to get that hug and kiss as he comes through the door and to sit down and tell me about his day. I still get excited knowing it's time for him to come home and come through the door because I enjoy my hug and kisses too. I had a candlelit dinner for us and we spent a quiet evening at home. I said I would not sew anymore, but here I am making a prom dress for Julie Johnson. I don't think I have the patience for that anymore. I only like to sew for my pleasure. Okay, so I had told you guys a couple episodes ago to remember one of Grandma's friends, and that is why, because I'm going to show you guys the connection that we have to Julie Johnson. So I'm going to put up a video here because I think it would be easier if I wrote it out while I was explaining. Okay, so the connection to this Julie Johnson, who Grandma is making the prom dress for. So we have heard a lot about Grandma's friend Martha Johnson, who does their haircuts. So Julie is Martha's daughter, and Julie is the mother-in-law to Tacy Hargrave. Now you might be thinking, who the heck is Tacy Hargrave? We have not heard of her yet. And in these journals, you are right, we have not. However, we have heard a lot about Justin Hargrave, right? We've heard a whole lot about him. And he is the son of Jim and Jeanette. Oops. Pardon my handwriting, we're gonna do this fast, okay? And Jeanette, obviously, is the daughter of Alec and Peggy. Well, spoiler alert, Justin is going to meet and fall in love with Christina later down the road. And they are going to get married, and they are going to have Miss Tacy. Okay? And then Tacy is going to meet and fall in love with a Dallin Cook. Okay? And Dallin is the son of Chris Cook and Julie Cook, aka Julie Johnson. And obviously, like I just said, Julie Johnson is the daughter of Joe and Martha Johnson, who is good friends with Grandma Peggy. So I am sure back in 1990, when Peggy was making a prom dress for Miss Julie Johnson, they obviously had no idea that this random friend of her mother would one day be the great-grandmother to her future daughter-in-law. Clear as mud? If you were watching the drawing, maybe you were able to follow along. If you're just listening, well, hopefully that didn't confuse you. But I absolutely love that. So Grandma Peggy made a prom dress for Julie Johnson in 1990, and then several years later, Miss Tacy met their son Dallin and became Julie Johnson, Julie Cook's daughter-in-law. I love it. I love it. I love it. And to further the connection a little bit, so I actually knew Julie Cook before she was ever
related to the family this way. Obviously, she was connected to the family as Grandma was making her prom dress back in 1990. But I knew Julie Cook from working at the Pima schools together. I had no idea that she knew our family, none whatsoever, until Tacey and her son started dating. And I didn't realize that Grandma knew them until I started doing these journals. So I knew Julie Cook as Mrs. Cook at the school, and I knew her brother who subbed at the school. So I knew Julie for years and years and years and years before I had any idea that she, one, knew my grandparents. And then obviously eventually Tacey married their son. So lots of connections there. It's such a small world.
Okay, you guys know, if you've been listening, you know how much I love making connections with people. And that one is such a fun connection. Because just like, who knew, right? Who knew? Nobody. Just so fun. All right, moving along. All right. Wednesday, May 16th, 1990. You never know who might come up here to the dam. This morning, 2 young gals from Channel 45 came up here looking for, oh gosh, I don't know how to say this name. Theron and Miles, the Indian Cowboys. They are part of the Arizona Cowboy, a show that comes on Saturday morning. A man in our ward, Larry John Wright, produces it. Anyway, I told them where the corrals were and they went on their way. May seems to hurry by like all the rest of the months. We took Cameron and Tyler Fricky, our grandsons, for a couple days and had a fun time with them, while their parents celebrated their 11th anniversary. They are good boys and we had fun. Cameron, being the oldest at 8, was really pestering Tyler, 5. Tyler had enough and whacked him across the face with a metal thing he found outside. I was in the other room and I heard Cameron crying. I asked him what was the matter, and he said, "You better come fast. I think Tyler killed me." When I got there, he looked like he was killed. Blood was running all over his face, and poor Tyler was scared to death. He had apparently hit a little blood vessel, and it really spurted everywhere. At least that stopped the fight. Cameron didn't pester his little brother anymore. That evening, on May 26th, we went over to my Aunt Janetta's, who's my mom's sister, for a family get-together. I went over with my aunt and uncle, Lou and Carla Moore, who is my mom's brother, because Alec was working. It was a real nice get-together. She had a nice dinner, and we visited with everyone. I had another wallpaper job on Monday, Memorial Day. Alec worked, so it wasn't a holiday for us. I took my Uncle Lou with me. We did a job for Dr. Talmadge Schill and his wife, Nancy. He was at one time our family doctor, but he had to retire because of his health. We were also in the same ward with them, so we knew them for a long time. She only wanted one room done, but after we did that, she liked it so well that we did the living room and entryway too. She was having a bridal shower on Saturday, so we will have to wait to do the rest of the house. Friday, June 1st, Alec had some biopsies done on some skin lesions on his face. They were cancerous, so they cut and burned them off. It sure left a hole in his nose and above his eye. They said that they will heal up and only leave a little white spot where they burned them off. It will take 5 weeks to heal, so he has to wear patches on them until then. Saturday, June 2nd. I can't believe time is going so fast. I look at my grandkids and see how fast they are growing. Life is so different. I feel sorry for kids today. They really don't have time for fun and for being kids. I realize we don't want to live in the past, but our kids are exposed to so many things. Some of them I didn't even know existed until I got married. I live a sort of happy-go-lucky life. I had my head in the clouds and did a lot of daydreaming, which was good and bad. But our grandkids hear, see, and do so many things that it is kind of scary. If all the energy would go to the good things that are gospel-related, it would sure be a lot better. I've always wanted to do what is right, even though it was hard at times. And when I see our children doing wrong things and setting a bad example for our grandchildren, it breaks my heart. But I can't live their lives, so I try to keep my mouth shut and help my grandkids the best I can. July 1990. After celebrating Father's Day, June 16th and 17th, Lori came over Saturday and Jeanette came Sunday, so Alec celebrated for 2 days. July came so fast. We went to my aunt and uncle's house to barbecue, Lou and Carla Moore. They have moved here from Santa Ana, California. They are so homesick. They are moving back, which I don't blame them. It is so hard to be away from your family, and they have lived there all their life. I could hardly contain myself when I found out I was coming back to Mesa. Our kids grew up here, and it is home. I made many friends in Elfrida, but it was not hard to leave knowing I was coming home. Our son Steven and his wife came to the barbecue, and we all visited. My mother stayed with us for a few days. She is selling her home and moving out here to Mesa. It will be hard for her, but the area she lives in is getting so bad. She is afraid to go to the store or walk outside. She is hoping to get over here in an adult park with a security system just a few miles from here. July 5th was Brooke Ann Hargrave's 9th birthday, our oldest daughter's girl. Alec was working 2 to 11 afternoon shift, and so I went over to the Hargraves and went out to eat Mexican food. Brooke Ann called earlier in the week and asked me to come and eat with them because she wanted to eat Mexican food. And I guessed it. When we went, she ordered a hamburger and french fries. My aunt and Uncle Lou and Carla talked to us about buying their home. Alec and I really thought about it and then offered them what we could. They said okay right off. We offered them to take over their payments and pay them back the $80,000 they had invested interest-free. It was only an offer, but they said yes right away. It was not a real good deal for them, and we told them it wasn't, but they were ready to just give it up, and we made an offer so they wouldn't lose their money. Carla went to California to get an apartment. She called Lou and said it cost $1,000 a month for just a little one-bedroom apartment, so they told us to back off of our offer. We were hoping they will stay for at least a year and not lose their house or their money. Alec and I are very sentimental, and it's hard for us to leave a house after we have lived there for a while. But if we got a good deal, we would leave our home here at the dam site. Today I went to church and stayed for 40 minutes, ran down to Harris Ward off 8th to see Evan Robbins, a boy who lived with us in Elfrida, bless his baby girl. He did a really good job. His wife, Gloria, was one of my seminary students and mutual girls. They are great kids and are trying hard to do the things that are right. Then I went back in time for Relief Society. Alec and I had just recently purchased a VCR. All the kids have one, and almost everyone we know had one. We are kind of slow. But we are not machine-minded, and all this computer and stuff is so new to us. But we decided we'd better get with it and learn something, or we're going to be left behind in a cloud of computer dust. So we are learning. In the last 2 years, an old friend and I have become real good friends again. She left 3 weeks ago to go to Washington to stay all summer at a place they bought. We have a lot of fun together. We have a lot in common and do a lot of things together. Her name is Betty Beatty. She called last night, and I was so glad to hear from her. She was a little homesick, but seems to be having fun exploring the area. It's nice to have great friends and know how much they really care. My aunt and uncle, Lou and Carla Moore, moved over here from California, bought a home, stayed here 6 months, and were so homesick they moved back to California. We tried to buy their home, but things didn't work out. But we like our little house here at Granite Reef. It's quiet and peaceful and real cheap to rent. Only $125 a month. So I was not too disappointed when we didn't get the house. Lou and Carla left on July 27th and called me on the 29th to say they arrived safely and were happy to be home. My girlfriend, Denise Burden, and I were going to go to Portland, Oregon, where another girlfriend owns some property and spend the summer. But we decided too late because our friend Betty was on her way home already. Oh well, it was fun planning, but I always hate to go and leave Alec, so I guess it was just not meant to be. I have accumulated so much junk I am trying to clean and get rid of. I don't have enough room to move around in my sewing room, and much of the stuff I haven't used in at least 3 or 4 years, so I better give it away for someone else to use. I bought some of Lou and Carla's furniture, and I am redecorating, which is fun to get something new and part of my capture to decorate and do crafty things. I guess that's when I'm my happiest. I have to keep busy, but most of all, I like for Alec to be happy, and he seems to be happy at all times. I've had 2 of my granddaughters here for a few days. I went over to Jeanette's and picked up her daughter, Brooke Ann, who's 9, and my son Steven's daughter, Stephanie, who's 8. They get along real good and have fun, but Stephanie has to give in to Brooke Ann, so there won't be any fights. She is the baby of her family, and she's talking about Brooke. Brooke is the baby of her family, and with mom and dad and 3 older brothers, she just naturally gets spoiled. They were both real sweet and lovable and like to do the normal fun things. Grandma lets them get into her makeup and they really have fun because I know this is one thing neither one gets to do at home. They helped me design some denim vests for them and made pictures on plaster frames and made seashell pictures. So they kept busy. I really like to move the time to teach them things that their moms don't teach at home. July 21st, we went to the Woolsey reunion in Safford. It was Alec's mother and her sister's family. It was real nice. A granddaughter of one of the sisters, Karen Weaver, granddaughter of Alice Woolsey Boggs, organized the whole thing. There was an introduction at the stake building of all the families, and the girls sang some songs that their mother had taught them. Then they had a luncheon at the motel they reserved for everybody. Then that afternoon, they had a Pioneer 24th parade in which they honored the Woolsey sisters, and we wound up at the barbecue. It rained everywhere except at the barbecue. We went and visited with Alec's sister and mom and Gwen and Robert at their motel and then left and spent the night. The next morning we went and ate breakfast, visited with Lee and Vera. Our dean must have been at church, so we missed her. Then we came home. It was a nice trip. I always like to go on a short trip. It's relaxing to me. I guess it's because when I'm home, I can't sit and not be busy. And when I'm gone, I don't feel guilty about sitting around and doing nothing. Our homemaking meeting is coming up next Tuesday. I need to get busy for that. My gal that decorates tables is gone, so I need to do that chore this month. Not that it takes so much to do this, but if I take on someone else's job, I want to do as nice a job as they do. August is usually our hottest month. It has been a real nice August though. Some days were even cool. Nothing like July when we had a day or two of 122 degrees, which of course was a record for us. The monsoon rains come in August and has kept us cooled off. The month of August was busy trying to get all the grandkids over before summer ends. They are all growing up so fast that they are all so cute and such special spirits. It is such a pleasure to have them. They are so full of energy and eager to please and very eager to learn and practice their talents. We had Justin here to help with Lori's two boys. They are good but are full of it and keep you on the go all the time. Justin is 12 and Cameron is 8 and Tyler is 5. So Justin was a big help. We set up for 3 days just like camp. Everyone had chores and fun things to do. The boys especially like it out here. So many things to do. Nature hikes, throw rocks in the river, climb hills. So many fun things for boys. At least they were tired at the end of the day and had no trouble sleeping. It was time to go home and no one wanted to go. I even hated to see them leave, but I do get tired and so I don't keep them any longer than 3 days at a time. September is here and school has started and all the grandkids seem to be happy about the schools they attend. I hope they are always happy about school. I was such a daydreamer in school and I never took school too seriously and of course not. I wish I would have. And of course now, sorry, typo. Of course now I wish I would have. Alec is his all sweet self, telling me every day how lucky he is that he has me and tells me how much he loves me and how beautiful I am. Well, I guess I am lucky to have one so sweet, one who really cares. We truly wrap our life up in each other, but we also give each other breathing space. I wish my kids would be a little kinder to each other and help each other grow and reach their potential. It is so satisfying to know you have helped someone achieve and reach their goal. We are all striving to reach the same goal. How sweet it is when you have someone helping and boosting you along. Alec and I need to do a little more than we have been doing. We have been backsliding on temple work, and I would really like to go to BYU Education Week. I know we use the excuse, we live so far out, but that should not determine what we do. I really have a desire in my heart to do what is right, and now I just need to put forth the effort. We are almost at war with Iraq over oil. It makes you wonder what goes on when we know there is already so much oil in these United States that we probably could supply the world. They have sent many of our troops over there already, and this time our troops consist of many women, which I think they have no place over there, but I guess that's their business. But I think we have no place over there anyway. They are people of power and greed and will ruin their own, so we don't need to go and help. But their leader, Hussein, I really think he is asking for war. He has 3,000 Americans held hostage over there, and if we cross over and try anything, he will declare war on us. The Lord said there will always be wars and rumors of war, and rather it be the nations or our neighbors, I guess he is right. Alec and I have not been to the temple in several months. It seems every time we planned on going, Alec would be called to work or to a meeting. All excuses, but we didn't go. So we decided to go September 14th. We got up early and went to the 7 a.m. session, but as we came through the door, a worker asked us to do ceilings. So we went into a ceiling room. We were coming to the last 13 names, and I looked over at Alec, and his lips were white, and his hands were sweating. And as I looked up at him, he made a funny noise, and I knew something was wrong. And before I knew it, he fell over and landed on the floor. He hit his head pretty hard, and I went over and stood by him and thought, what a terrible place to die. Then I thought, no, what a good place to die. Then I thought, well, maybe he isn't dead. I grabbed his hand, and it was cold and limp, and then I knew it. He was dead. He laid very still. His eyes rolled back in his head. No one seemed to be too concerned. The lady next to me took his pulse and smiled and said, he has a strong pulse. It hasn't missed a beat. I could breathe again. It had only been for a minute, but it was the longest minute I've ever endured. So many things ran through my mind, and I really felt alone for the first time in my life for a fleeting moment. I felt very alone. It was for a short while that we are here on this earth, and each day should really count. As Alec came to, Brother Flake asked if he was ready to continue. They had brought more names to be done. Alec was still a little shaky, and I was still in shock, but the Lord's work has to be done. Alec and I decided to go home and let someone else take our place. Okay. So I know that for Grandma and Grandpa at that time, that was a scary story. But when I first was transcribing that story, I could not stop laughing. I could not stop laughing. I mean, it's not funny that he passed out. But the fact that Grandma was like, what a horrible place to die. Oh no, actually, what a wonderful place to die. Just like, I don't know. It made me laugh so hard. So I know that was scary for them, but it gave me a good chuckle. So, but I think we all know, like when you're doing ceilings, because you're kneeling, you got to stand up and let the blood flow a few times if you're doing too many names. So anyways, we are home for a day or two, and Alec decided he needed to see a doctor. He couldn't get an appointment, so they sent him to the hospital. They checked his heart, he had a CAT scan, and his blood tests. They couldn't find anything. He is still a little lightheaded, and we found a bump on the back of his head where he fell when he passed out. We need to go back and have a test taken to see if he has low blood sugar. In the meantime, we've put him on a diet and are just waiting. I too get upset with the doctors and all they have to go through, or all we have to go through, but I really want to know what is going wrong and what he should do. At this point, we need to know how to take care of ourselves at this age. I can't think of life without Alec. He is my pillar, my strength, and my whole life. We devote all our time to each other. We still step back and give each other room so we are not smothered. But he has really helped me believe in myself and to let me know I am somebody. I think about my family so much. I worry about them, but I also know I have to go ahead with my life and not let their problems plague me continually. I give advice when asked, and I won't lie, I have probably given some advice when not asked, but I try hard not to interfere. They are always your children, and you still hurt for them when they hurt, and cry when they cry, and laugh when they laugh. All my children have learned to serve others, and for this I am grateful, because the Lord said to serve one another. It truly helps the spirit and lightens your load a little for the day. Jessica Hunt, me, Stephen Hunt's daughter, our granddaughter, was talking on the phone to Alec, and she was telling him about her Sunday school class and how nice it was, and she had boys and girls in her class. Alec said, "It would be better if there weren't any boys in it." "Well, no," Jessica said. "The boys are real nice, too." She will be 4 this month. Let's be honest. I've always had a love for boys. What can I say? All of our grandkids are so special. Tabitha is 12 and really growing up and such a fun girl. She is also a sweet and precious girl. Alec and I think the world of her. Stephanie is Steven all over again as for her looks. She is very independent and a little headstrong. She is 8, and we think this is the one that will give Mom and Dad a fit when it comes to boys. Oh, sorry. That made me laugh too. Maybe not boys, but... Oh, boy. Okay, sorry. Chelsea is another independent little girl. A little too serious, but what a sweetheart. She wants to do everything on her own, but wants to learn everything she can. Brooke-Ann can win over most anyone with those big brown eyes. She can be so grown up at times. She looks as if she will be a tall girl. We only hope she is proud that she is tall and stands straight and turns on the charm. Justin is our little actor and reminds me of me when I was his age. He is a daydreamer, has his head in the clouds. He loves the outdoors and loves people. But I was too shy to act, and that is one thing he is not. More power to him. Tanner is the quiet one and the determined one. He tries real hard at everything he does, stays on the honor roll, plays ball, and never misses an opportunity. He also is good in the arts. He likes to do many things. I'm sure later he will declare what he wants to do. Clint is 16 and has all those terrible thoughts as teens have. Am I good looking enough? Will my zits ever go away? Will girls go out with me? How are my grades? Should I go out for football, baseball, basketball, or do nothing at all? So many things for a young man to think about. Well, from a grandma's point of view, he is very good looking. He is tall, he dresses great, and is always polite. And if I was a young lady, I wouldn't pass up a chance for a great date. Alec left for work tonight, all night. He has such a time on night shift. It's not good for him, I know. Anyway, I walked him to the door, and as I stepped back and locked the door, I stepped on a scorpion. I opened the door and yelled at Alec, and he came back in, put some ice on it. Thank goodness it got me on the tough part of my foot, on the heel, and it didn't affect me. Just a little sting on the heel. I made Alec stay for a few minutes to make sure I was okay. Once you get bit, you sure are scared to get bit again. It looks like war between us and Iraq. A singer, Johnny Carson, says it's the Armageddon that they talk about in the Bible. Who knows? It could be true. So many things have come to pass. Maybe whoever said it would all end in the year 2000 just might be right. When I think of the end coming, I want to hurry and do all the things I was supposed to do all in one day. I know I should be busy on my genealogy, but for some reason, I keep putting it off. Everyone says you will enjoy it, but I have done some work, and it is a real chore for me. Even when I find names and dates, I don't get real excited. I've got to quit thinking about how I feel and have a little more compassion for my relatives, especially since none of them are Mormons. Grandma, family history ain't for everybody. It's okay. I mean, I don't understand it because I would spend all day doing family history. But you know what? Some people, it's just not their thing, and that's okay. All right, October 14th. I have had a dizzy feeling in my head for days now. I hate that feeling because I cannot function normal, and it is also a very scary feeling. I don't like to drive when the dizzy spells come, and I don't want to miss church either. So I very carefully drive to church. I was supposed to stay for choir practice today, but when the dizzy spell left me, I headed for home. Some who read this might say, choir practice? Peggy? She doesn't sing. No, that is true. But the Relief Society sisters are singing, and I'm a Relief Society member. We are singing for our sacrament meeting on October 27th. I went to Jeanette's house after I got home. I was feeling better, and I met Alec at Jeanette's at 3 o'clock. We went to a wedding for Cindy Dunbar. She is a secretary at Alex's work. I made all of her bridesmaid dresses and fixed her wedding gown, made 2 flower girl dresses and bows and flowers for their hair. I also made her a garter and a ring pillow. It was at Val Vista Lakes, and it was real nice. Alec was off the rest of the week. We always have so much to do when Alec is off, and I guess it's my fault. I usually leave everything until he gets off. That way, it gives him something to keep him busy. Birthdays are full for October. We start off with Alec's mother on the 7th. We went down to Elfrida at the last few days of September and celebrated a little early for Alec's mom's birthday. The next weekend was our son-in-law, Jim's birthday. He turned the big 4-0. Boy, our kids are catching up to us. The next weekend was Jeanette's, but on the 27th, I had a family reunion on my side of the family. We met at Freestone Park in Gilbert. We also had a surprise birthday party for my mom, Mary Latimer, who was 74. My sister and I did a tap dance for the whole gang that we did when I was 9 or 10 years old and my sister was 11 or 12. We did pretty good for two old gals who haven't done it since then. It was a fun day and my mother was really surprised about the birthday party. Everyone was there except Cheryl and Bobby, Emily's daughter, and two of her brothers, Robert and Alan. Neither one was there. My son Stephen and family couldn't make it either, but everyone else showed and had a good time. The next day was our oldest daughter's birthday. We went right over after church and took her 2 cherry cheesecakes and some perfume and homemade powder and a crystal heart-shaped powder box. Alec was off the rest of the week and we decided to go to the temple on Wednesday, October 30th. We left and was supposed to meet Martha Johnson there at 9 o'clock. Well, we got down the road and Alec forgot to get some papers for the credit union, so we went back. Then we left again. One of the guys working on the road told us to be careful of the mud puddle. Well, we saw the mud puddle, but we didn't see the pile of dirt until too late. We really sank into it. It spun us around on the canal, so the guy saw us and pulled us out. Alec got out and got a little muddy, but we went on and we made it, and I am sure glad because I met a girlfriend that had moved to Missouri about 14 years ago. She had come to see her mother and decided to go through the temple. We talked briefly. She had other plans, so she couldn't go to dinner with us, but it was nice to visit with her. She was my first counselor when I was Relief Society president 15 years ago. Her name is Mary Lou Wilcox. November 4th, 1990. We had just gotten home from church, and Stephen and Jennifer and all the girls came and visited us. Jody, Tabitha, Stephanie, Chelsea, and Jessica, and I had just told Alec, I hope no one comes. I haven't cleaned house for a week and a half. And then I said, I hope Stephen doesn't come. I haven't gotten Chelsea's birthday present yet. Well, that's what I get for procrastinating. Chelsea wants a ballerina doll that dances, so I gave Jennifer the money and told her to buy it for her. They came about 1 hour after the conversation. Don't ever say you don't want someone to show up, because they're going to show up. November 6th. I had a wallpaper job, and I haven't wallpapered for a while, so I'll probably get sore, but we'll see. November 7th. Well, don't ask for something because you might get it. I am so sore I can barely walk. It's the first time I was that sore from any of my wallpaper jobs. We, Betty Beatty and myself, did a job for Otto Schill's nurse, Pat Nordberry. My Aunt Carla called at 2:40 a.m. Tuesday morning on November 6th and said my Uncle Lou had a heart attack and was in critical condition. I waited till morning at 8:30 to call everyone. They were just here a couple weeks ago to pick up some of their stuff. They left and he looked so white and pale. You could tell he didn't feel good and he was not quite himself. He is a very nervous guy and puts a lot of stress on himself, worrying about everything. He is 63 and has only been retired a year. I got a call this morning and got an update. This morning being November 8th. Carla called and said he has diabetes and he was anemic and they transfused him. He had congestive heart failure, probably from the diabetes. He still has internal bleeding and they don't know what has caused that. He is not a smoker or a drinker, but has a lot of stress and anxiety because he worries so much. He is my mother's brother. I do everything I can to keep Alec and I healthy, and we still have all kinds of crazy things happen to us. We don't eat out, but very seldom. I have lots of fruits and vegetables. We eat red meat only on special occasions, and we have chicken or fish 2 times a week. We try to keep up with our yearly exams and try to prevent all things from happening. But even with caution, things can still happen. They are laying off more people at Salt River, and they are offering all those 55 and older a package deal. So I guess if the package deal is good enough, Alec will take it. Well, in a way, it is kind of scary, but there have been so many problems with the job that it is really a stressful job for the water masters, and Alec is a water master. And he used to like the job real well, but the boss they have now is so stressful to work under. Alec thinks he will go back to being a Sandero and just take the package at this time. I really don't care. I almost hope he can take the package and leave because even working as a Sandero, the night shift is stress on him and is stress on me and him, and we both don't need it. That's for sure. November 7th. Well, I just got a phone call. Our 16-year-old grandson got in a car accident and his mom is in bed with bronchitis. She had to get out of her bed and go down there. He had his sister Brooke Ann in the car. She will call me later and see what happened. His name is Clint Hargrave, and I'm sure it scared him to death. I guess it was just a fender bender, but we will see. Life is scary and full of surprises, but I really hope that my kids and grandkids can learn from our mistakes, because it's for sure they can't live long enough to make them all. Well, I've got to finish dishes so I can get busy and finish a little flower girl dress that I'm making for a friend. I want to get all that stuff out of the way and get back to making Christmas gifts. I'm tying quilts for the little girls and making a wood toy for some of the boys. Clint and Brooke Ann were just fine. It never hurts to say a little prayer. I'm sure Clint will be a lot more cautious in his driving. The lady that they hit, well, her husband, called to see if they were okay. He also mentioned that Clint was very polite and very concerned for the lady he hit. It was coming out of a parking area, and they really didn't know whose fault it was until the police arrived. I'm so glad my kids and grandkids are good kids and try hard to do what is right. The newspaper and TV are so full of crime, corruption, and bad things. Our children hardly have anything for an example to follow. This makes me so thankful for the church and the gospel and the good things that give so much of their time. Oh, and the good people that give so much of their time in our behalf. We have the church, so we might live differently, and yet so many still live to be part of the world. I'm so thankful for good books, good movies, good friends that always help me to keep on the straight and narrow. Sunday, November 11th, 1990. We got in bed last night at midnight. Alec is working afternoon shifts. It's 11:30 before he gets home, so when the alarm goes off at 6:15, it is hard to get up. But today was special. It was Alec's 57th birthday. We got up to be to church at 8 o'clock because it takes 25 minutes to get to church from here at Granite Reef Dam. We have a real nice sacrament with the Bovell speaking. We've known them for 25 years or more. Our other classes were real nice, and we headed home so Alec could eat and get to work. I made him a wool shirt jacket out of some material that we bought at a yard sale for $1. Then I had a picture made for him of the Hargrave kids, 4 of our grandkids. I made a nice steak dinner. We seldom have steak, and then we visited for a while, and Alec went to work. He never complains or fusses because he has to work. He is just grateful for the time he has before he goes. I guess all the kids will come over tomorrow to help him celebrate. November 11th is, what is this? Armistice Day? Armistice Day? I don't know. It's now known as Veterans Day, but before it was called something else. So the kids are all out of school. Sundays are usually quiet for me. I enjoy my hours alone. It gives me time to reflect on my life and some of the things I need to do. I think about life and how short our life here really is. It's not that we don't have enough time to do all things. It's that we keep thinking we will do it later. Then when later gets here, we have to do it all. So I guess do a little along the way. My Aunt Carla called, and my Uncle Lou is still on the critical list. No leukemia or lymphatic cancer, but still bleeding inside and white cells eating as fast as they make red ones. So they still don't know. They will call in specialists and wait and see. I did another wallpaper job for Pat Nordstrom. She is a nurse of our former bishop, Otto Schill, also Dr. Schill. Betty Beatty, who is now my partner, did a nursery room for her. We wallpapered and then did some cutouts for extra effect. I don't know what it is I like about wallpapering, but I guess one thing is it's creative. It's physical work and you do get tired, but I guess I love creativity, and I guess doing the physical work I can prove to myself that I'm not too old to still go out and work. Besides, 55 is not that old. Even if I am going to be 56 next month, I'm still 55 right now. Monday, the 12th of November, Alec and I went over to SRP to get info about the new insurance policy. We took some friends with us, Pat and Alice Boyle. After signing up for the new policy, we went over to Monty's for lunch to celebrate Alec's birthday. After we dropped the Boyles off, we went to our daughter, Jeanette Hargraves, and our daughter Lori and her boys came to Jeanette's, and Alec opened gifts from the girls. Stephen was working, but called and wished his dad a happy birthday. I guess I will start writing every day in my journal. I can't remember from day to day what I've done or said. I have been working on Christmas gifts. I am making quilts for all the little girls and trying to buy gifts as we go shopping here and there. Alec and I and Jeanette's family and Stephen's family are going to my mother's for Thanksgiving Day. It's been many years since we've had Thanksgiving with her. She is really thrilled. She asked for so little and never complains about her family. She is just happy about whatever comes her way. She is trying to sell her home and move over here. I will be glad when she does, but real estate is not moving, and so it has been real slow in selling. My mother got a call from my Uncle Lou, and they sent him home from the hospital. They think time will help him heal. My mother says he sounds good, and he says he's feeling really good. Anyway, we are looking forward to a good get-together on Mom's for Turkey Day. Saturday, November 17th. I talked to Stephanie Hunt, Stephen's daughter, and she told me she had to get glasses. And I said, I bet you'll look real cute in them. And she said, yeah, I do. Saturday night, we went to a wedding for Carol and Roger Mortensen's daughter, and we saw people we have not seen in years, all friends of ours. Sandra and Lorraine Shumway, Tom and Lorena Jarvis, Clyde and Marion McClellan, and many others. So it's always nice to get out and meet with old friends. All right. Sorry. Turn the page. All right. Sunday, November 18th. Alec had to work today, and I always hate to go to church by myself, but I don't like to miss church either. It is a renewal of the rest of the week. Then I came home to a calm and quiet house. I have to read. I have this problem. I make up words. I have to read the words that are on the paper. Then I came home to the calm and quiet that we find out here at Granite Reef Dam. Yesterday, we had the pleasure of seeing 2 bald eagles in a dead tree near the house. We had spotted them several days ago at the bottom of the river. They were really huge and beautiful in flight. We are truly blessed to live in such a beautiful area. Alec was off for about 8 days. We had each day planned, and we did many things together. Sorry, I bumped my mouse. I want to make sure I didn't stop recording, but we're good. Okay. We went to visit his sister, Roberta Sharp, in Coolidge. We had lunch with her and her husband, Travis. We had a real nice visit, then headed for home. We stopped at Superstition Springs Mall. We were looking for a Bart Simpson shirt and a backpack for Tyler's 6th birthday. Bart Simpson is a disrespectful cartoon teenager that I think it gives the teens the wrong morals, even if he does do good things in a wrong way. On the 29th, Tyler Fricky, Lori and Bill's boy, had his birthday. We went over, and he could hardly wait to open his gifts. He had been in school all day, so he had a lot of fun. We didn't stay too long. We must be getting old. We are always ready to go home before it gets dark. Our daughter had stayed up late the night before and made cupcakes for school and for Tyler's party. She put the cupcakes on top of her car to get into the car, and the cupcakes wound up all over the street. She got to school and couldn't remember what she did with the cupcakes. She called Bill and asked if he had seen them at home. He doesn't go to work until 9 or 10, so he gets the boys off to school because Lori goes in at 6. Anyway, when he dropped Tyler off at school where Lori works, he said, I found your cupcakes. They're all over McQueen Road, flattened to nothing. I hate to say it, but she got my jeans in that category. I talked to Jennifer this morning, Steve's wife. She is ready to have her baby. It's really not due till the 23rd, but the doctor said she would deliver at least 2 weeks early, so she is hoping to go any day. She is raising her teenage sister, Jody. Jody is 16 and started dating, and this is hard on them, but she's a good kid with good morals. After I got all the news from Jennifer, my granddaughter, Jessica, who is 4, talked to me and said she got a coloring book and crayons, and she colored a picture, and she was helping her mother today, and they were getting their Christmas tree this weekend, and she really didn't know what she was getting for Christmas, and they were getting ready for breakfast, so would I please hang up so she could eat? Kids. They crack me up. The house is decorated and a few goodies in the freezer. I am still cutting out a saguaro cactus for our Christmas tree to go with our Southwest decor in the living room. I love Christmas and its special meaning. I love hearing the music and the hustle and bustle of it all. I love making and doing things, but most of all, I can reflect on the true meaning and the Christ child and the magic and wonder of it all. And I say magic because magic things happen. People do things and get involved with family who aren't having Christmas. It changes people and makes life a little easier for some. Why that spirit can't carry all year, I do not know. December 10th, 1990. I can't believe my birthday is here already. December goes so fast. I am 56 and I never thought I would be this age because when you are 30, you know you are getting older, but you never think about it in years. Lori and Bill and Tyler and Cameron came yesterday to celebrate my birthday. Lori brought cupcakes and they put matchsticks in them because we had no candles and everyone sang happy birthday. They gave me a silver bracelet and earrings and an Anne Klein perfume. So you guys might notice that I wear this bracelet a lot in my videos. I mean, maybe you don't because my hands are down here. Anyways, I'm not saying this is a silver bracelet that they bought her that year, but this was Grandma's. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm sure a lot of you recognize it. This was Grandma's silver clasp. And a couple years ago, you probably can't see the designs, but it has like etched in designs. Anyways, a couple years ago, she invited us girls to go through her jewelry box and pick out a couple items that we wanted. So I got a few things, and this is one of them, and it is my favorite bracelet ever. And I wear it pretty much every Sunday or anytime I dress up and go out. So I don't know, I love it. All right. Alec and I went Christmas shopping for a while, and then we met Jeanette at Theo's pizza place and had salad and pizza. Wow, this sentence is all messed up, but I think it says she had made a real, I don't know what this is supposed to say. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go back and look at the actual journal. A real cute jacket. Okay, so I think she's saying that she got her a real cute jacket made by a friend of hers, Sue Armadio, there we go, Sue Armadio, with a Southwest theme. It was real cute. Pink, my color. She had to return to work. Then Alec took me shopping for my birthday and bought me a silver chain that I wanted and 2 charms to hang off of it, a heart and a key. Then we did more Christmas shopping and came home. What a fun birthday. Then the next day, our home teachers and visiting teachers called and took us to see Dancing with Wolves with Kevin Costner for my birthday. And when I went visiting teaching the next day, one of my sisters gave me some earrings. So I celebrated all week long. It was fun, but sometimes I wish I hadn't been born in December. Everyone is so busy, and it seems like it adds an extra burden on people. But I am thankful for being born, and especially in this day and age. When we have seen so much growth made, I feel lucky because when I was born, not too many people could afford any luxuries. A lot of people didn't own a car. That was still a fairly new thing. A lot of people didn't have radios in their home. I do remember we had a car and a radio. But 1945 to 1950, a lot of things started happening and changing. Cars were getting a more sleeker look. Everyone had record players, and some even had that little tiny black and white TV. We didn't have it in our home, and now we are in the computer age, and the world is getting so fast. Time goes too quickly, and it's when you start reaching my age that you realize how short your time is on this earth and how precious life is each day. We have our cactus tree up. I drew it on a piece of fiberboard, and Alec drilled holes all around it to put in red chili lights. It looks great, and I think Alec had fun helping me. He has really been in the Christmas spirit the last few years, and I love it because I like to do all the fun things, and I like someone else to have fun with me. He helped me cut out all the dolls for Christmas. I think if we ever got organized in our shop, we would have fun together. We always have fun together. I haven't seen a whole lot of him lately. I've been wallpapering a house for the last few days, and he has been working 2 to 11, so I only see him when he comes home at night for a few minutes, and then we go right to bed. There are always lots of things to do, and December goes fast. I usually make the younger kids Christmas. This year, we made quilts and black wooden dolls for all the Hunt girls. This year, everyone had silver jewelry on sale, so all the girls got silver earrings, and Steven got a silver belt buckle. The other kids got clothes, books, toys, whatever we felt that person needs that year. We also found things at yard sales that work as Christmas presents. We found an old beveled mirror and an oak frame. The mirror from 1948 cost $6. The oval oak frame cost $1.50. We spent close to $30 restoring and putting carved wood trim on it, but it turned out real pretty and Lori loved it. These are the fun things to do. I always leave Alex shopping till the last. I always want to do something special or make something special. This year, time got away even though I started early. Getting wallpaper jobs close to Christmas gets in the way, but that's life. I always want something special that he wouldn't buy for himself. So I got him a reproduction of a Frederick Remington bronze statue called Rattlesnake. He really liked it, but he is so easy to please. He never asks for hardly anything, and buying stuff for himself is far and few between. So I'm pretty sure that is the statue that has been in Grandma and Grandpa's house for as long as I can remember, that I'm sure is still probably sitting in their house right now. That bronze statue. So that's pretty fun. All right, well, I thought this was going to be a longer episode, so either it wasn't or I talked really fast. So if I was talking really fast, I apologize. We're not quite done, but we're getting pretty close. All right, December 20th, 1990. Alec and I went to a 2-day seminar for people that are retiring from SRP. He is not retiring, but we took the class anyway. I really don't want to because it was so close to Christmas and Stephen and Jennifer were having their baby that day. She had, drumroll, a baby boy at 10:45 that morning. I kept calling their house, but no answer. I didn't even know what hospital she was in. I don't know why I didn't ask, but I didn't. Anyway, we got home around 6 p.m. and I still didn't know what they had. I called Jeanette and she said, "Mom, didn't you know? They had a boy this morning." Alex said he heard me yell, "Clear outside," and I don't usually get that excited, but I did get excited then. After all, they did have 4 girls. It was about time they got their boy. Cody Clark Hunt, born December 20th at 10:45 a.m., weighed 7 pounds 4 ounces and 18 inches long. What a great Christmas present. We didn't get over until December 23rd to see the baby. We had our family get together that night, and Steve and Jennifer live so far away. It's not easy going back and forth. It was hard to wait 3 days to see our grandson, but we survived. Steve and Jennifer gave the Christmas story, and when Jennifer came to the part of the Christ child being born, it was a little touching to her after just having her baby, and she couldn't hold back the tears. The littlest girl, Jessica, ran up to her mom and said, "Don't cry, Mama. It's only a story about Jesus." I'm mad at myself for not taking my tape recorder and recording some of these precious moments. Anyway, the baby is a little cutie. He is a mixture of all of them, and we are so blessed with all of these special grandkids. So after all those girls, my mom and dad finally got their boy. December 24th, Alec and I spent that night, sorry, I missed a word there. Alec and I spent that night wrapping a few gifts and getting ready for the big day. Christmas is a lot different than when all the kids were home, but it is still fun and we enjoy it. It's a lot more special and exciting when your kids are home and you wake up together on that special day. December 25th, Christmas Day. Alec and I woke up around 6:30 and got dressed and piled all the girls in the car and left around 7:30 and went to Jeanette and Jim's. We ate breakfast with them. They had waffles, eggs, hash browns, bacon, and ham. They got us a game and a new telephone with giant numbers on them. I totally remember that phone. They had it for a while. After the gift exchange, we left and went to Lori and Bill's. It seemed awfully quiet for their Christmas morning, but Bill opened the door and I said, "It's real quiet." And he said, "Oh, we're not up yet." And I laughed and said, "You mean you're getting up for the second time?" Then he said, "No, we've been up since 6 o'clock. The boys are a little older and a little more organized than they were the year before. We exchanged gifts, and Bill and Lori had gotten us a video movie holder for all our movies and 2 movies and a box of popcorn. We exchanged gifts. Lori loved her mirror and earrings, and we got Bill a billfold and a sweater. We left and headed to Phoenix over to my mom's. We arrived at 11 a.m., and Mom almost had lunch ready. She was not real well. She had a touch of the flu bug, but she wanted it to be a nice day, so we stayed for lunch, and Bob and Emily Thompson, my sister, came, and we all had lunch together. We left Mom's and went to Tolleson to be with Steve and Jennifer's family. Alec had not seen the new baby yet, so he was anxious to get over there and see the new baby. He had changed in just the 3 days since I had seen him. All the little girls were full of words and questions, and all of them were still very excited about the new baby. We got a picture of the whole family in a frame that Jennifer had cross-stitched. It was really pretty. Steve fixed an excellent Christmas dinner, ham, potatoes, and all the trimmings. It sure was good. We finally left and came home. Alec and I had our Christmas together. He bought me so many gifts: sweaters, shirts, a beautiful necklace, pajamas, slippers. I had to take back 3 of the sweaters. They either didn't look good or didn't fit. Other than that, everything else was fine. He has good taste. It was a nice day, and Alec and I are so blessed. We have great kids and grandkids, a beautiful family, and we have certainly been blessed through the last year. We have lots of good friends and belong to a great church. I have a husband that loves me so much, and we have a wonderful life. Who could ask for anything more? Alec was off all week. We stayed home the day after Christmas because of all the crowds. The next day, we went and made a few exchanges, ate lunch, and came home. We had our adult Christmas party on the 28th, and Betty, Beatty, and I did the decorations, so we worked all day the day before. We sprayed big tree limbs gold and silver and white and stood them gathered with small Christmas trees and put twinkle lights on them and park benches, red and blue spotlights, and batting to look like snow. It was really pretty and worth the 8 hours of work we did, the 8 hours we worked to do it. We were really thankful for Betty's husband, Dave. He did all the lighting. On the 29th, we had a wedding to go to. Stephen Miller. His parents are Chuck and Marie Miller, friends for many years. New Year's Eve, I had planned a nice dinner and staying home with Alec. I washed that morning, and by 1 o'clock, I was so sick I had to go to bed, and I've been sick since then. Well, that's not a very exciting way to end this podcast with Grandma being sick. I paused when I said Betty's name, because then I was like, did I say her name Betty, Beatty, Beatty? If I ever said her name wrong, Betty, Beatty. But then sometimes I'm like, did I say Beatty, Betty? Anyways, sometimes I get a little worried about saying my words wrong. Anyways, all right, well, that is a wrap on 1990. Like I said, that was not as long as I thought it was going to be. So sorry if maybe it was because I talked really fast, but like I said, I am really hungry and I really want to go eat dinner. Anyways, but that's exciting to be into the 90s. Cody is my brother, obviously, and he was born, so it's always exciting when new grandbabies come, and he's the last. He is the baby of the babies. He is the last grandchild to be born to Grandma and Grandpa. Of course, they will continue to have many great grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren and great-great-great-grandchildren, but I will say that Cody is the last. He is the last of Peggy and Alec's grandchildren to be born. So that's exciting that we're all born, we're all here, and as we move through the 90s, obviously we all grow up, and I'm currently in 1994 in Grandma's journals, and it's fun to like see where everyone's at, and you know, the Hargrave boys are becoming adults, and anyways, obviously we'll get to all that and you guys will get to listen to it, but I am still just thoroughly enjoying it. I literally spend majority of my days in Grandma's journals because it just is such a joy to me. So I know I say it all the time, but I hope that you guys are still enjoying it as much as I am. So I don't think I have too many pictures from 1990, but I did put up the ones that I had. So hopefully those watching the video enjoyed them. And besides that, I hope everyone has a great week, and we will be back next Sunday with 1991.